So if a guy tells you that he's had 2 wives that have passed away on him, then he was in a different committed relationship and she passed away on him also, this dude's not like 85, 90 years old. Yeah, he's 38 years old.
38?
38. Would you continue to see him, or is that get spooked out by that?
I would like more detail.
Okay, I got it for you.
It's worth a Google. Like if he's like they always find women that marry guys and then something mysterious happens to the guy and they call him the Black Widow. Like if this is the Black Widow of men,
so
no.
This is the Google is part of the mystery here. So catching up with a friend out on the West Coast, and we're just talking about things that are going on in your life. And I love when this text comes up. Oh, I have one for your show.
You're like, cha-ching.
Perfect. I said, go on. So she'd been doing this, dude, and he hits me with there is something I need to tell you text is what she writes.
You really had to word it like that.
What do you mean?
She's been doing this, dude.
Did I say that?
Yes.
I meant going out with.
We heard what you said.
Yeah, and for a second I was like,
that?
yes. You go,
Sorry.
she's been doing this, dude. And I'm like, well, that is a little crasser way to say it, I guess.
She's been going out with this guy. I don't know where that came from.
I do.
He hits me with there's something I got to tell you text. So she's thinking, oh my God, I've been dating a married guy again. So we have some history together. So I wrote her, I remember that, but that was like for a year, right? And she's like, yeah, different story, but yes. Anyway, no. This guy sits me down over the weekend and says there's something you need to know about me, and I'm bracing for the worst, she writes. And while it wasn't the worst, it's definitely kind of super strange. He's 38, and he had 2 wives that died while they were married and a 3rd girlfriend that passed away too. So I text her, I'm like, wait, 3 women all passed away? Sounds like a show on Netflix. Did he confess how he murdered them all? And she writes, both wives had breast cancer and one was in a car accident.
Oh, that's sad.
That's what I wrote, but I used stronger language. And then she writes, yeah, I think the guy is telling the truth. I mean, why would someone lie about something like that? After he told me, I did a deep dive and I couldn't find anything about the past wives or any one of his stories.
No, there has to be an obituary.
He says, or she said, he hardly has any social media. And she says, am I just being dramatic here? At the very worst, is this guy just really bad luck to be hanging out with? No pictures of the exes? Nothing, she writes. And that was it. Nothing.
Oh, no.
No, see, that's
I'm running.
red flag.
Yeah, huge.
That is sad and unfortunate, and it's devastating if you have not 1 but 2 wives who end up passing from breast cancer and then another who dies in a car accident. Like, my heart bleeds for the man. But if I go online and I can't find an obituary for not 1, not 2, but 3, 99% of obituaries are online.
Why would you make something like that? Unless you got some kind of weird I don't know.
Yeah, like what if he's
going on?
lying about it and that's why she can't find any proof of it? And in that case, why would he tell someone that unless that's like a desperate attempt to be like, don't break up with me, please?
I mean, we just had our intern share a story earlier about her friend that lied about her 2-year-old sister passing away.
What the hell?
Exactly.
Oh, you think he might be lying for like empathy reasons?
Maybe, but that is a stretch,
That
man.
is sick.
Is there anybody listening that's ever dated a psycho like this that completely made up all these tragic stories and you find out that none of them were true, but there was just some weird psychological thing going on? 1-855-BERT show. Because I mean, I wasn't even thinking that he was lying. I was just thinking, dude, just not on social. And my question was going to be like, this is really bad luck. Do you feel like you're part of this bad luck mojo? But maybe the question here really is, are people capable of living up this kind of lie just to build sympathy? And in their head, it becomes like their real life.
I'm sure.
I think so. Yeah.
People all the time tell lies, and they tell so many that they tell them so vividly that they end up believing the lie.
Yeah, people lie all the time about income and their flex. Look at this private plane I'm taking. No, you weren't, Lil Bow Wow. You were in Coach, Like, people lie about that all the time. Why wouldn't they lie for sympathy? If they're lying for accolades, why wouldn't they lie for sympathy?
It just feels so different to me to like dig
it's
into
gross.
that. Yeah.
Especially if you get to a point in life where you're like so desperate to have a relationship or to have some type of compatibility and it hasn't worked for you in the past. Yeah, people will go to extremes.
So which one freaks you guys out, if it's true or if it's not true?
If it's not true.
If it's not true.
that
worse.
by far freaks me out more.
Really? Yeah, I mean, if it's true, I'm sitting there like, are you a murderer? Is there going to be a Netflix documentary about you that I'm going to love to watch, but I don't want to be a part of it? Like,
You could
I wanna
also
be featured.
You could also look at the math at it and go, okay, he's had 3 that's already passed. It's not going to happen a 4th.
Yes, is he
The odds are in your favor.
Well, unless he bores him to death.
Is it wrong to ask for like medical records? Be like, okay, you said your 2 wives had breast cancer. Do you have documentation to prove that?
I mean, I think if you're someone like this and you're questioned, you're pulling the, I can't believe you even think that I would make up a story like that. We're done.
This was a storyline on one of the Real Housewives shows. It didn't involve death, but it did involve one of the women being involved with the man, and he faked cancer in order to get sympathy from the women. And they had the documentation to prove that it was forged and whatnot.
So that's not that uncommon. Hey,
No.
Jennifer, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show.
Hey, first of all, can I just put on the voice disguiser?
A little late for that, but hold on a second here.
Oh, well, all right.
All right. You got to put that request in before it. Go for it.
Go for it.
All good. So I had a friend of 11 years, and she would tell me that she was in these horrible car accidents, that, she would call me and say that, she just got hit by a car, she was in the hospital, all these things happened to her, and I would believe her. And then it turned out no car accident happened, and when I would press her further, she would be like, I have cancer. And all of a sudden, we would shift the tone from, me asking her questions about these traumatic events to just comforting her. And it just went from one thing to another for 11 years.
Damn.
And yeah,
I'm
but
saying this-
people have faked cancer. I've seen that before, and I always am like, and then I have friends that like are dating them, and I'm like, do I warn you? I don't feel like that's my business, but I remember some girl doing that in high school, and then her parents like showed up to an event, and we were all like, we're really sorry about her, and they were like, what?
Yeah. Kristen reminded me of Miss Peach way back in the day. Happened on this show. She came on and she was telling us about how she was living her life. So, and she was so fulfilled now because she had been dealing with cancer. And me and my ex-wife at the time, we went down there and we put flowers outside of her room so she could look at there while she wasn't feeling good.
Who was the celebrity that was lined up to come on the air with you guys and heard her story and was so moved he gave her like a bunch of money?
Well, there are 2 different. Mariah Carey was late for the interview, but then we started talking to Miss Peach, and I said to her, sorry, Mariah, you're 90 minutes late, and we've moved on, and we're talking to this woman that has cancer. And the second one you're talking about is a comedian named Jay Moore,
Yes.
who was so into the story. He was giving her money and giving her payments, and we were all scammed.
Wow.
Hey, Laura, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. What you got?
And to you.
So I was the person who they lied about. I was dating this guy. I found out he was dating multiple women, and one of them I talked to said that once when he was asleep at her house and he called my name out loud, she asked who I was, and he said that I was a girlfriend who had died. Tragic story.
Good one.
You were the deceased, huh?
I was the deceased. I was dead after that.
I bet you
To
were.
him, at least.
All right, one more, because this is really not that uncommon, you
No.
guys. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey. So I had a friend, it wasn't me, but a friend of mine who had a current boyfriend who lied to her about a dead fiance that never existed.
So what is the reason for it?
Yeah.
He never said. He just said that she was supposed to be a one-night stand and that it was never supposed to go anywhere. So he lied to her, I guess to get sympathy, and she stayed with him. So
Yeah, us trying to understand why these people do these things and say these things is the impossible question to answer. Because anybody who's willing to do that, there is no rhyme or reason as to why.
The Bert Show.